If you're new here, my name is Tolu. I'm a Christian dating coach and I specialize in helping women of faith attract their husbands. So today I want to talk about if God is keeping you single. Now, you guys voted for this. If you're on my Instagram platform, you voted for this by checking out my stories. But the reason I really wanted to talk about this topic is there's a whole misconception around how to approach dating in a healthy way as a saved woman, because there's a misunderstanding around God's purpose for your singleness. And so you guys know, Wife in Waiting will close its doors for applications this Sunday. So if you're interested in working with me inside this group coaching program, you want to start going on quality dates so that you can enter the right relationship for you that is healthy, that is focused on really building intentional steps towards marital commitment, then click the link in bio to apply. If you're watching this live, click the link that you can see on my screen. But yeah, let's talk about singleness, okay? There's a whole misconception around this in the faith. And I want you to first understand that singleness serves a purpose, okay? So when we talk about singleness, I'm talking about it's either you are single or married, okay? So in the grand scheme of things, it's not just about being single, as in you're not talking to anyone. This also includes if you are going on dates. It also includes if you are in a relationship, if you are engaged, because you are still single. You are still legally recognized as a single person. You have not stepped into the covenant of marriage. So singleness has stages, right? That's the first thing it's important to understand. Singleness has stages. And it's really important to recognize at what stage of singleness you are in. Some of the mistakes that come from lack of understanding around this very basic concept is you step into a relationship, you start acting like you're married. You're going on dates with a guy, you start ignoring things that you know are of priority and of importance to you. You get engaged knowing full well that this person isn't somebody that can support you maritally because they are not showing up for you even in your current state as a fiancé. That is what comes from ignoring the fact that you are not in a partnership yet. You are not married yet. So it's important to understand, and this is why the Wife in Waiting program is literally broken down to reflect the stages of singleness, so that my clients are clear at each stage of that process towards marital commitment, what they should be looking out for, how they should position themselves, what they should be paying attention to, and how they should be pursued. I literally had like in Wife in Waiting, we have coaching calls. So these are calls whereby I work with the clients in the program on really looking at their dating experiences, because when you join the program, you're going to get my framework on meeting men, having conversations and connections with men, getting into the relationships, going on the dates with the quality and caliber of men you want. And this is what we're dealing with in coaching, because when clients come in, this is their experience. And the client that just recently joined, using my process and using the framework up until this point, even though she's just started, has already found herself in a position where she's in a healthy commitment. But I was able to help her understand you're still single, okay? So we still worked through the process of looking at what she should be looking out for, how she should approach this new partnership and exclusivity so that she doesn't repeat past patterns. So it's important that you are clear on what singleness represents. The problem I see is the reason you're getting emotionally attached, the reason you're settling, the reason you're making the mistakes in the dating and you're attracting toxic men is you forget that you are just one individual. You start looking at these people as partners. You start looking at them as if this is my husband. This is the guy I want to be exclusive with. This is the guy I want to marry. You jump the process. You jump ahead. And what that creates is very uncomfortable dynamics with the opposite sex, because the man is not looking at you that way. Men are very logical. He's not looking at you that way. He's still trying to get to know you. Yes, there should be clarity through his side of things, but that clarity does not involve him looking at you as his wife. And it's really important that you understand that with men, you really want to pay attention to what they're doing, not necessarily what they're saying. And the great thing about Wife in Waiting is all of this is in my curriculum. We break down for you exactly what you should be looking out for so that you are clear on how to read men's intentions, their actions, how you are able to discern and decide really as you're dating, whether you are talking to and entertaining somebody that aligns with what you desire in a partner. If you are not aware of what singleness represents, you're going to struggle with understanding what singleness is meant to show you. Not only from the perspective of a potential relationship, but more importantly when it comes to your marriage. Now let's look at God inside. I just really wanted to break down singleness before we get into it. Let's look at how God plays into this, right? God intends for you to be married. If not, you won't have that desire. It wouldn't be a pressing need that you have. There are some people that just know that they just don't want to get married. They don't have that calling. If you may have come across people like that, but I just want you to know that this calling isn't for everyone. So don't trivialize it. Not everyone is called to marriage. Not everyone has that desire. So you have that desire for a particular reason. Now, when God intends for you to step into marriage, he's going to place that calling in your heart. And he's also going to use your singleness to serve a purpose through that process of stepping into the marriage he has for you. And I want to be clear about this. When we talk about singleness again, it means you're not married. Okay, so whether you are in a relationship, situationship, you're going on dates, you're talking to a guy, you are engaged, you are still single. So this still applies to you. I really want you guys to get this. And what happens is, through this process, God is not keeping you single. He is showing you through your singleness the kind and quality of marriage and man he desires for you. God is not gonna, that's the reason I phrased this question this way, because that's unfortunately how it's perceived. He's not keeping you single. Singleness is not a sentence. It is a season, right? It serves a purpose. So there's a purpose behind. He is using the singleness that you are experiencing to show you your marriage, to show you how to understand the way to date. And we're going to go into all that in a second. But there is a purpose. Everything the Lord does has a purpose. So there's a purpose behind your singleness, which is why I don't approve of things like, oh, it's not my time yet. That's not accurate. That's not accurate. It's not that it's not your time to get married. It is that you are in a season of preparation for marriage. It's not like there's a door that just opens and you are married. You go through a series of doors to get to that point. It is a journey. So it's important that, it's so funny because when you think God is keeping you single, you are the one actually keeping yourself single. It's not God. God has nothing to do with it. You are making an active decision to say that, you know what, I'm just going to stay still. And that isn't what God desires. He is showing you through your singleness where he is taking you maritally, and he also uses your singleness to call you deeper into his purpose for you. Okay, but I'm not going to get into all of that. But this is what it means to date like a wife. This is literally why the Wife in Waiting program focuses on reframing the way Christian women perceive dating and how they position themselves to date. This is why the program is broken down in the way it is in the curriculum, so that you can see what God is showing you through the stages of singleness to enable you to be visible to your partner, to enable you to be valued by the partner that he has for you, to enable you to repel the men that do not qualify and to attract the men that actually do qualify for the marriage he desires for you. So God has a purpose for your singleness. If you are single, if you are dating, if you're in a relationship, I even also say, and I'll share this with you, I've said it here, I've said it to clients, sometimes the Lord will even let you enter relationships that he has no desire for you to marry that person. But there is a lesson in that relationship that he requires you to gain. Okay, so it's really important to understand. This is why, also in the program, I can confidently say this is the only Christian dating program that marries principles of the faith with practical steps. This is the only program you're going to find that does this, showing you how to hear from the Lord, how to really understand his nature in your life to complement how you are dating. Okay, we do both, right? Because as a Christian woman, you are of Christ, so you need to have an understanding of your origins to be able to date in a way that aligns with a Christ-centered marriage, right? So this is the only program that marries prayer with practicality, because that's how you position yourself. And in that, in that framework, it's really important you understand that God has a purpose for your singleness. There are stages to it, first of all. One of his purposes behind it is there are stages to it. He doesn't want you not to be talking to men forever. There are stages to it. There's a time where he doesn't want you necessarily focused on dating. There's a season for that. And in Wife in Waiting, we break this down for you so that you know your season. That is what I call the hidden season. This is where he just wants you to be focused on self-work. You will know it. Like, it's just a season of self-reflection, building up, tearing down internal strongholds, self-development, learning to really recognize his voice in your life, drawing you closer to him, working on self-care, breaking you away from idols, really isolating you to focus on him. And you will know what that season looks like. I remember when I went through that season, that is even how, because he's also planting seeds in that season. That is how Wife in Waiting, it was in that season that the Lord started teaching me what I now share with you in Fan the Flame when I was in the hidden season. So I recognize very well what it looks like. Like I keep sharing with you guys, everything I share and teach, it is from some form of experience. This is not theory here. So it's important that you recognize the season, but you do not want to use your season as an excuse, because God will never leave you with idle hands. Even if he says you should wait, you will still be busy, right? You will still be busy. It's just the business will be a different kind of business. Like, it could be, you may not be physically moving, but spiritually you're at work, right? So it's important to recognize the season you are in. The hidden season, he's pulling you to a place of self-growth. He's purging you, he's separating you, he's isolating you. And this doesn't mean you won't see men. I want to be clear. It doesn't mean you won't see men. It doesn't mean men will approach you. It doesn't mean anything. It just won't go anywhere. This is different. Let me be clear. This is different from men losing interest in you. This is different from men not wanting to talk to you. This is different from men not wanting to pursue you. This is different from situationships. No, that's not the hidden season. That is not the hidden season. Let me be clear. If you're experiencing all of that, your problem is you just don't know how to connect with men. God is not hiding you. The hidden season is more attuned to, you are connecting with guys, you are meeting men, but it is not geared towards a relationship. You are forming friendships. You will find that, the men that you may be interested in are just not available because they are in entire relationships. Or you will just find that in that season, you're not even interested in men at all. But it doesn't mean they're not approaching you. It doesn't mean that they do not find you attractive. It just means that you have no interest, because God is pulling you to an internal focus and to a focus on him. He's reframing the way you go about your life. That is what the hidden season looks like. So if you're experiencing men are not giving you attention, they are like, their conversations fizzle out, they're emotionally taking advantage of you, that is not the hidden season. That just means you don't know how to connect with men, and you don't know how to have conversations with men. That's what that means. That's why I'm breaking this down. Okay. So another thing is, in your singleness, you are going to be going on dates. You are meant to be going on dates. Let me be clear. Apart from the self-work and self-reflection, which never stops, by the way, it's just that hidden season is to lay the foundation. That's what he's doing there. You are always going to be doing the self-work. You are always going to be learning new things about yourself and the Lord. You are always going to be growing in the work he's giving you. But the hidden season is because he wants to lay the foundation. And to lay a foundation, he needs you not to be distracted. So that is the primary purpose of it. It doesn't mean the work stops when he removes you from the hidden season, or rather when you come out of the hidden season. And even in the hidden season, you will notice like you're growing and growing and growing, in terms of your internal principles. You're getting clearer on what you want and need. Your sensitivity gets better and more heightened. You really get a new identity in Christ. You really step into that understanding of what it looks like to be a woman of faith, that you have been called to be specific specifically, you get confidence, you get conviction, you get confirmation in other areas. There's a lot of work going on in the hidden season, right? So do not confuse it with, oh, maybe I'm in the hidden season because no men are giving me attention or time. That is not how you characterize your season. How you characterize it is based on where you are at, which is why it's really important to know where you currently are at through your own process, right? But if you're experiencing men not giving you time, attention, you always find yourself in situationships, your problem right there is just you're not qualifying men correctly, you're not looking at the right things, you're positioning yourself in the wrong way. And that's something that we deal with inside Wife in Waiting. You are not in a hidden season if that is happening. I keep saying it because I don't want you guys to confuse this thing, right? But you will find that at each stage of the your singleness, that is, you're not talking to anyone, you're going on the dates, and you're meeting men, you're entering relationships, you're getting engaged, you're still single. All of that, you're still single, right? God is really bringing you to an understanding more and more and more of who He's called you to be as a wife. He's making it easy for you to start recognizing your husband. You will get knowledge of your own marriage. Like, you will understand the principles governing your own marriage. You will get insight around, okay, what does it look like to date with discernment? What does it look like to date with the Holy Spirit? How is marriage an idol? And you will get dislodged from it if it's an idol. You will start to attract men differently. And this is what we primarily focus on in Wife in Waiting. So the purpose for your singleness is to show you your calling. It's to show you your husband. It's to make it easy for you to be able to identify when you are looking at quality opportunities. In general, quality opportunities when it comes to your finances, when it comes to building your faith, when it comes to taking steps in the purpose that He has called you in, when it comes to ministry. So singleness serves so many purposes that are even separate from marriage, but all of them combined will make it easier for you to know your husband. It will make it so much easier for you to know your husband, so much faster for you to be able to know when you're talking to the wrong person or the right person. And in Wife in Waiting, what I do is I break this all down. Like I was sharing, a client had shared, on one of our calls, that she's able to eliminate distractions faster. Like when it comes to men, she doesn't need to be talking to them for 4 weeks, 8 weeks. She doesn't need to have 6-month-long talking stages to be able to know whether or not this is somebody that she could potentially have a relationship with. She is the one turning them away. She's not left in the lurch, so to speak. She's not left in a loop of confusion. She's the one able to say, actually, I'm not interested because of A, B, and C. Or when she is interested, she's able to continue those conversations. And that is how you should be dating. That is what it means to date like a wife. This is what I mean when I say you get to choose your husband. This is exactly what I mean, and this is what I show my clients how to do, which is why they are having these experiences. So your singleness serves a purpose to make it easy for you to be able to identify your person, to be able to attract your husband, and to be able to know exactly what it looks like for you to be pursued. Because the way you're going to be pursued, and by pursuit I mean the way your person, the man you're eventually going to marry, and men that are marriage-minded, the way they're going to pursue you is going to be very different from how they pursued your friend, your sister, your colleague, or whoever else. So it's important that you have a revelation around what that is going to look like, so that you create opportunities for that to happen. And that's why I show my clients, okay, this is how we can create opportunities for you to meet men online and offline, so that it's easy for you to create opportunities for you to come in contact with your husband, for you to come in contact with quality men you can be going on dates with. And the purpose of singleness as well is to show you how to date. A lot of you do not know how to date. Dating is not meant for you to be getting emotionally attached, confused, conflicted, having all your feelings up in the air all at once and nowhere at the same time. Dating is meant to teach you the art of discernment, to show you how to make decisions, to show you how to be able to gather data and use it for your benefit. That is what dating is meant to do. It is literally just a process of filtering how you are paying attention to men to get the outcome you want. That's all it is. You're not meant to be catching all these feelings, getting confused, being in 5-year-long situationships, 6-month-long talking stages. That is not what dating is meant to be. That's not how you date like a wife. And that's part of the reason why you're struggling when it comes to really identifying why you are single. Okay, because singleness, all these things I've just mentioned, is important for you to be able to know, so that it influences the way you date, and you will find it changes the way you attract men. I've seen this happen with clients again and again and again. Just by switching the way they're approaching the dating process, it switches the way men find them attractive. Literally had, it's so interesting because it usually happens within the first few weeks of working together. So I'll tell you another story, which is one of the funniest. I had a client tell me that a guy chased her down the street because he really wanted to get to know her. He'd never seen her before. It's not like she was wearing makeup or whatever, whatever excuse you want to give. She was just a different person in terms of the work that we've been doing and how she's positioning herself. Chased her down the street, trying to get her number, trying to see how he can please her. Mind you, this is not her boyfriend. This isn't even a guy she's talking to. This is a guy just trying to get her attention. And this is what I've been trying to explain to you guys. There are certain things that are clear from men that are intentional from the get-go. The way they approach you, the intentionality behind the conversations they want to have. They don't need to be taking you on the dates to be able to show you interest and to be able to show you a desire to get to know you more intimately. But because you don't know how singleness functions, you confuse their actions to mean maybe he just needs more time. And he doesn't, by the way. Maybe he just needs more time. Maybe he just needs me to do A, B, and C. Maybe I'm just not good enough. And that right there is your problem, because that is not how you should be dating in the first place. So singleness has a purpose. You're meant to be meeting men. You're meant to be taking steps to connect with the quality of men that you desire. You're meant to be going on the dates. You're meant to be creating that space to really understand what it looks like to discern the right person for you and to build that intimate relationship with the Lord to help you make those decisions. But the problem here is you're just not meeting enough men, or the men you're meeting are just not interested in you. Another thing that I've seen is you're easily triggered and traumatized. So your trauma and your triggers are speaking into the way you date. And you're not going on dates with men that excite you. You're settling. You're not making progress. You're finding yourself stagnant and stuck in all these situationships, entertaining men that you don't even find interesting. Those are things that I've seen as a result of you keeping yourself single, and somehow you've thought that it means that God is keeping you single, and he's not. These are just things that are you keeping yourself single, because you're only making yourself available for everything you don't want. Okay, you say you want to get married, but you're not meeting enough men. You're not even creating opportunities for that to happen. You say you want men to be treating you well, but you're making yourself available to men that trigger you and traumatize you. You say you want to be going on dates, you want to be courted properly, but you're making yourself available to men that don't excite you, that are not willing to take you out, that just want to hang out, quote unquote, have you come over to their places, do not want to be intentional about spending time with you. That is all you. That's not God keeping you single. Okay, so how we rectify this inside the Wife in Waiting program is, firstly, we're just going to clean up the way you're currently experiencing dating. So what I do with clients is I provide you with a dating plan, which simply means this is the plan for you to get out of your current toxic cycle, whatever that may be, whether it's not meeting the men, or it's not knowing how to talk to men or keep conversations with men, or just entertaining men that are a waste of your time. And then we work on making sure that you're going on dates and you're available to go on dates with the quality of men you want. And how I do this is show you how to build your profile online and how that would translate into meeting men organically as well. Because we don't know where your partner is. No one can tell you that. No one can tell you you're going to meet your husband in church. You're going to meet your husband on the way home. No one has that information. It's only God that can give you that knowledge, which is why a key part of the program is really understanding how to walk with the Lord on your own. Okay? And how I support you with this, apart from the practical templates I give you to be able to really practicalize the process of discernment, I support you with prayers, very strategic. And some of you have seen the prayer. We don't play with prayers here. So the prayers are inside, they're very strategic, targeted prayers inside the Wife in Waiting program that are specifically focused on getting you revelation around your dating process. And then creating opportunities for you to meet men. It's that simple. Then in coaching, working with you through those opportunities that are going to attract men into your life to make sure you're making the right decisions. That's how we do it inside the Wife in Waiting program. So I just really wanted you, and by the way, this is part 2, because Instagram is just, I don't really care. But there is a part 1, so watch the previous video. But yeah, what I was talking about is basically God is not keeping you single. He is showing you through your singleness a lot of things, not only the marriage he's called you to, but also the man and the mission. Okay, there's a mission that is attached to your life. There's a man and there's a marriage. So he's showing you things through your singleness. Do not assume he's keeping you single. That is a lie. God does not keep you away from blessings. He leads you towards them. So it's really important for you to understand why you are single. Okay, is it because you have not taken dating as a priority? Did you just think it would happen? Which, by the way, is obviously not the case. Is it because you are not dating men that are able to provide the level of emotional security that you desire? Are you dating men that misalign with what you want? Is it because you are not going on dates? Is it because you need to work on the way you emotionally make yourself available to men? That is why you are single. Okay, so it's not good. Please, let's not work in confusion. So it's important for you to understand singleness is a season. It serves a purpose, and a season means it is meant to come to an end. You know, as you look at the seasons in the weather, it will be unusual for it to be winter throughout the year, or for it to be summer throughout the year in regions that are not familiar with that kind of climate. You know, so it's important for you to really understand this is just for a time. So in this time frame, what am I supposed to learn? Like I said, some of the general reasons, and there are more specific things, and how this comes to light inside Wife in Waiting is when you go through the curriculum, because I have tasks attached to each step and stage that I teach you inside Wife in Waiting. You will get clarity around what you should be doing at your current point of singleness. So it's important to have conviction around what you're meant to be focused on. Some general things are learning how to be a wife, learning how to date, learning how to lead with your value, really understanding the process of discernment as you are dating, prioritizing your relationship with the Lord, removing marriage as an idol, dating with confidence, learning the art of being a feminine woman and attracting quality men and having connections with men in a healthy way, not attaching your value to the way men perceive you, because that's also a key ingredient in leading with your value. So all of these things, they're just on a general scale. There are more intimate, personal things that are meant to help you through your single season, to lead you to your partner, to lead you to the right man for you. Awesome. So do we have any questions? Like, if this live cuts, that'll just be the end of it. Because I don't know what's going on with Instagram today. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to start building a healthy relationship with men that you can actually marry, and you want to start going on quality dates, then the Wife in Waiting program is the right program for you. We marry prayer with practicality. So in other words, I show you how to equip yourself prayerfully and practically. Just click the link in my bio to apply. Applications will close this Sunday. So once you apply with the link in my bio, I'll review and I'll revert back to you within 24 hours. If you have any questions about the program, feel free to send me a DM and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Okay, guys, I'll see you next time.